1975, be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board, town hall, and sending to the officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting would take place at 6:30 p.m. on this date. The fire exits are located in the far right corner in the back, with the immediate left in the front. For resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct and form of public meetings, please be advised of the following. All members of the public must step up to the podium, state for their record their name before addressing mayor and council.
Councilman Agliata.
Here.
Councilman Haynes.
Here.
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Slockbower.
Here.
Council President Burnside.
Here.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have two appointments for the Environmental Commission. Katie Clark, term expiring December 31st, 2026, and Shenel Clark, expiring December 31st, 2027. Have a motion? Second.
Second.
Right on. Thank you. Now approval of minutes for the budget meeting February 15th, 2025, and the budget meeting March 1st, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No correspondence, council reports, Councilman Haynes.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, and our esteemed public. DPW report. DPW had a reported incident of a high water pressure on Chestnut Terrace last week. Team was called out on Monday and repairs were made to a pressure reducing valve the following day. As everybody can see, the town banners have been put up all around town. DPW continues to work on pothole repairs, street sweeping, and field maintenance throughout town. There are a couple of resolutions on tonight's agenda for emergency repairs that were made at Stony Brook Booster Pit by our contractor. Regarding the Board of Ed will be holding and introducing their budget for the 2025-2026 school year at their meeting on May 6th at 7:30 in the TJ cafeteria. There will also be discussion regarding the superintendent's contract on the agenda. And that is my report.
Thank you. Motion to accept the report of Councilman Haynes.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Councilman McDonald.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I attended the meeting for the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting this past Tuesday, the 22nd. A couple of key topics that were discussed. Smith Field will be having a security upgrade with lighting and cameras starting in about 2 or 3 weeks. Also, our Christina from the committee held an internal Rutgers program on March 29th, and 3 people attended. So this does save the town a lot of money by doing this in course, and other people from other towns are welcome to come as well. So she does a great job with that. And finally, this Saturday is our Little League opening day. 9:30 is the gathering. It's getting from Beach Street down to, it's at Fireman's Field. Then they're going to have a walk down from 9:45 down to the Fireman's concession stand area. Then the official ceremony starts at 10 a.m. So just a heads up. And then our next meeting is on Tuesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. here in the community center. That's all I have.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman McDonald.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Councilman Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor, fellow council members, and our members of the public tonight. Good evening. A lot going on over the last 2 weeks, so I'll go through it at the 20,000-foot level. Tuesday of last week, the 15th, the mayor, myself, and Ms. Reiche met with the DPW negotiating committee. And again, we continue to discuss and exchange proposals. And right now, we're waiting for a date and confirmation from the DPW negotiating team to continue. So we'll keep you all posted on that. Next day, I attended the Morris County League of Municipalities meeting over in Pine Brook. Very interesting meeting. The keynote speaker was Prosecutor Bob Carroll. He had a discussion on home invasions and car thefts. And actually the two are interrelated because what he was describing is how the Morris County Prosecutor's Office and all of their sub-departments are working together on this. It's quite an issue. There are nefarious groups of people going around and targeting high-end automobiles. They'll go into a neighborhood with what's known as a car drop. They're engaging very young teenagers, 13, 14, 15, handing them in many cases weapons. And then they search through the neighborhoods looking for these automobiles. And unfortunately, the majority of cars stolen are unlocked, and they leave the key fob or the keys in the cup holders or in the, the console or on the dashboard. And those cars are gone within 10 seconds as soon as they get to the cars. The thing that quite concerned us is that then there's what they call crowbar group. They'll identify a car, look at a house, and then realize that there's probably nobody home. They break in looking for the key fob because most people come in, you put your keys when you walk into the foyer or your kitchen or your dining room or wherever. They take the keys or the fob and steal the car. And task force has done a great job. They've reduced in half the number of car thefts and these break-ins by, through their work. But the old adage stays true, going back to the early 100 years when the automobiles came out. It's lock your car and take your keys, and that's the best. It was a very, very good presentation. One that if you have community members or associations or groups, Bob did a great job on that presentation. It's about 45 minutes. Continuing on, last Tuesday, I, along with Ms. Reiche and Director O'Connor, had our Clean Communities Day, and a great turnout over at Bonnet Donatoni Field. Patty, I lost count up in the 30s. Did you end up with a final count for the?
Yeah, 11 more.
Okay, thank you. But it was a really nice afternoon. Lots of well, we had a couple college students, but a lot of high school students were there, and then the Brownies and their troops, and just some individuals, and George was there, and thank everybody for that. Last night, I attended the Land Use Board meeting. They heard 2 applications, one from a resident of Franklin Ave who was approved for a garage, and the second is a developer looking to construct 4 units, 2 bedrooms each on top of 11 Wall Street. Just so that you know, 11 Wall Street, for those of us in town, is the karate building. He's got about, I'd say halfway through his presentation and his testimony, and he'll be back again to continue at the next meeting. And wrapping it up, museum's open Sunday, all welcome, all invited, and hope to see you there. And that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks. Motion to accept the report, Councilman Hurley.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Agliata.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Nothing much more to report that I didn't already report on the last meeting in terms of Board of Health. Although with so many residents here, I would be remiss not to mention that there have still been cases of avian flu reported in town. So if you have any small pets and you happen to notice in your backyard or sidewalks or driveway or even right on the street out front of your house, if you see any carrion or roadkill, please do not let that pet go up and sniff on it, anything like that. It's a very contagious disease, and it's how this disease spreads. So if you see, a sick animal, a bird flopping around the ground, call animal control, and they should be able to come out and have that removed, and hopefully we'll stem the spread. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you.
Motion to accept the report, Councilman Agliata.
Second.
Councilman Slockbower.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council, or residents. As you see on the agenda tonight, we do have some ordinances for introduction. And the one I'd like to talk about a little bit is the 2507. It's an international property maintenance code. So we're changing that up a little bit, change the ordinance up to make it more effective for our code officials, to be more reactive to what's going on. It's to better the town, to help us as residents to show some pride in our hometown. Along with that, I'll talk about the Environmental Commission. The cleanup is May 17th. It's right on track. Volunteers already calling, so it looks like it's going to be a good day as long as it doesn't rain. we'll be in good shape. Again, it starts at 8 a.m. Jackson Avenue, the parking lot. So, anybody has nothing to do that day, come on down. Have a cup of coffee, bagel, I'll buy you lunch. Everything we provide, we'll give you gloves and bags to do signs, and it's pretty organized. It's actually a good day. Along with that, I have to talk about Memorial Day. That's right on track also. The parade is still being organized. We're getting down to the nitty gritty on it. We'll be organizing the parade lineup. So if anybody's interested, any civic groups, businesses, the application's online on our Facebook page. You can find us there. You just email it back to me and I'll get you lined up. All right, it's an easy thing to do. The other thing is, we just had the Easter egg hunt. Our PBA does the Easter egg hunt. If you weren't there, I love seeing those kids. I tell you, proud parents, what a great day. What a great day. And that's my report time there. All right, thank you.
I think the Easter egg hunt, I think there should be a senior division of the.
That'd be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I like to watch it.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Slockbower?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Council President?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On Wednesday, April 6th, I attended the library board meeting. Again, our library is really busy. The calendar of May events is already posted, and it's jam-packed with programs for people of all ages. So check that out on their website. The Antique Roadshow What's It Worth event was apparently 25 participants deep, standing room only. And I understand that Councilman Hurley had one of the most coveted items, according to the appraiser. I don't know what it was, but it sounds like it was very exciting.
A 1957 Honda dump truck that was given to me by my grandmother that has just stayed around the house for years.
Very, very nice. The only thing I want to just relay about the library is the Friends of the Library opted to cancel the May book sale. They didn't have enough participants to have it, so it may be rescheduled for the fall. I also attended the egg hunt on Saturday. It was so well attended, and they had awesome prizes. I want to thank the police for throwing that great event, and also for the fire department for showing up with the truck and the bunny. I wanted to mention that Councilman Slockbower, I'm thrilled that you're looking at e-bikes and the batteries associated with that. A colleague of mine had a massive fire in her building in New York City where an e-bike was left in the lobby and caused a horrific fire. So thank you for investigating that. I want to congratulate Councilman Agliata on his recent engagement. And for the police report, in the month of March, the police responded to 1,317 calls for service, responded to 16 and had investigated 16 crashes, participated in 59 traffic stops, gave out 72 citations, 41 moving violations, 2 equipment violations, 27 parking violations. There were 4 arrests that resulted in 12 criminal charges. And during one of the arrests, which started as an officer initiating a traffic stop for a motor vehicle violation, the defendant began fighting with the officer and assaulted the officer before a ground fight ensued. The officer was able to gain control of the defendant until other officers arrived and successfully handcuffed the defendant. It was later learned that the defendant had many, many warrants out for his arrest. The officer sustained minor injuries during the incident, was seen at the hospital, but released and returned for work at his next shift. The defendant remains housed in the Morris County Correctional Facility. That's my report.
Yeah, there's been too many examples of that. I don't know, over the past year, there has been almost, more than a handful of assaults. Which, would come up on top every time, but it's just become too complex. Motion to accept the report of Council President Burnside?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Good evening, everybody. Just two quick items to report on. One, Councilman Slockbower already partially covered in his report, the property maintenance ordinance. I would just add that we're also going to be applying this to both the interior and exterior portion of all property within the borough. The current ordinance only applies to the exterior of residential premises. And we're also incorporating the newest code, International Property Maintenance Code, which is 2024, but it is substantially similar to the 2021, which is the current ordinance. And then the other one is the fire insurance ordinance, and that's just as simple as, if there is outstanding taxes or assessments owed, the insurance company has to pay that to the borough prior to paying the insured on a claim. And that's my report.
Motion to accept.
Motion.
Sorry. Motion to accept it as a report of the attorney.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Report. Last week, I attended the Small Business Association loan grant kickoff in Wharton. A lot of information was given out. A lot of business owners were there. Shenel News was there. But there's a lot of support. Helping folks fill out the paperwork and get things submitted. So there's $5 million grants that are out there. But once that money runs out, it runs out. But there's very low interest loans that are also available to small businesses. So the information is posted on the website to apply for that. I continue to call into the New Jersey DOT, Department of Transportation calls, along with Chief Peppermint and Lieutenant Richardson in regards to Route 80. It's a big group of folks on that calls, including the Colonel of Callahan of the State Police. So we kind of leads those calls along with emergency management with that. So we're still looking at May 4th, 2 westbound lanes to be opened on Route 80, May 18th, 2 eastbound lanes, and then later in June, it should all be open. But again, we're talking about state timelines here, so we'll see. But we can only hope. So all good. That's for me. It for me. Motion to accept the report of the mayor.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Or administrator?
Good evening, everyone. So the Clean Community event we did have on Tuesday, we cleaned up Donatoni Park. It was a total of 67 people that were attended and about 40 bags of garbage. The biggest amount came from the back half. We had a bunch of seniors, or high school kids, I should say. I don't know if they're all seniors. But they came back with some massive garbage from the back, which was very impressive. So, so that was our event on, it happened to be Earth Day. So, also too, Monday, I'm just reminding everyone that we have maximizing your tax benefits. Again, this is more geared toward people 65 and older or receiving Social Security disability. It goes over, they're gonna be there to answer questions on how the Senior Freeze, the Anchor, and the State New Jersey programs are running with the new form that they sent out. My understanding that the Anchor program for anybody under 65 should not be changing. The only reason why they're doing this with the seniors are because the seniors are having to fill out 3 forms, and they're trying to consolidate that they only can fill out 1. Again, that's going to be this Monday from 6:30 to 7:30 at Thomas Jefferson. And on May 15th, between 2 and 4 p.m., the Mosquito Commission is going to be at our library. Basically, they're going to have it says meet the experts, and they're going to say what they're there to do is help educate people. It's for anybody interested about facts on ticks and tick-borne diseases. So that is on May 15th, 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. at our library. And that is all I have this evening.
Motion to accept the report of the administrator.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Resolutions consent agenda. 69-25. Approved water allocation, 25 Green Pond Road, Rockaway Township. 70-25. Authorized execution of Franklin Avenue Sidewalk Project Agreement. 71-25. Authorized final change order, Crestwood Road, Madison. Jefferson Ave Road Improvement Project. 72-25, authorized property tax exemption due to disabled veteran status, block 67, lot 1. 73-25, award contract, Stony Brook Booster Station emergency repairs, Warner Brothers. 74-25, award contract, Stony Brook Booster Station emergency repairs, IPS. 75-25, award contract, upgrade and install security equipment. 76-25, award professional services contract, administrative agent. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions on the consent agenda commencing with 69-25 all through and inclusive of 76-25.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata?
Yes.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower?
Yes.
Council President Burnside?
Yes.
One resolution for non-consent agenda, 77-25, support Revolution New Jersey, which I will read. But first off, I just want to thank the Rockaway Borough Historical Committee, all the work that you guys do. And it seems like every day you're uncovering different facts and bringing them over to the historical, educating us on the Rockaway Borough and digging deep, the more we're finding, and just reading stuff about iron ore and how just like the 1730s, which was center part of the U.S. This stuff. So, but thanks everybody on the historical committee. We'll see you on Sunday. Whereas Governor Bill Murphy and the New Jersey State Legislature created Revolution New Jersey in 2018 to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, New Jersey's pivotal role in the American Revolution, and to the contributions of its diverse peoples to the nation's past, present, and future. Whereas the New Jersey Historical Commission, under the leadership of Secretary of State Patricia, with its nonprofit partner Crossroads of the American Revolution, established Revolution New Jersey to advance the role that history plays in public discourse, community engagement, education, tourism, and scholarship in New Jersey. Whereas Revolution New Jersey, NJ, will engage New Jerseyans in all 21 counties and 564 municipalities through its officially recognized programs, incentives, initiatives, and events over the next 10 years. And whereas it is fitting and desirable that we commemorate the beginning of the nation and the role that New Jersey played over the past 250 years, as well as its present and future role as part of the United States, with particular focus on the individuals, ideas, and events that shaped our country, state, and Rockaway Borough. Whereas Revolution NJ will consider the role New Jersey played during the American Revolution, when it saw more battles and skirmishes than any other state, and was truly the crossroads of the American Revolution. And whereas Revolution New Jersey will highlight the role New Jerseyans played beyond the battlefield during the American Revolution, when people with diverse backgrounds contributed to the development of the state and the nation in various ways and fought for the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas preserving, studying, and enjoying state history strengthens communities, builds bonds between New Jersey residents as we work together towards the goals of justice and equality embedded in the United States Constitution. Now let it be resolved that the Borough of Rockaway hereby endorses Revolution NJ and its mission to advance that role history plays in public discourse, community engagement, education, tourism, and scholarship in New Jersey. The Rockaway Borough Council commemorates the 250th anniversary of the establishment of the United States as an independent nation. The Rockaway Borough Council authorizes the appointment of the Borough Rockaway Historical Committee to develop a plan for this commemoration that will promote the maximum involvement of our residents, neighborhoods, businesses, schools, civic organizations, and institutions in commemorations. The Rockaway Borough Council further urges all of its residents to reflect upon the significance of this event and the role that our state and diverse people have played in the history and development of our nation, to participate in this important commemoration, endeavoring to include the stories of all those whose lives are part of the history and what we know now as New Jersey, and understanding that the revolution continues today as we uphold the revolutionary ideals articulated in the founding documents. So, can I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Recuse.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Have to recuse also.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. A couple ordinances for introduction. 2507, amending chapter 197, property maintenance. The purpose of this is ordinances to adopt additional sections of the International Property Maintenance Code to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community by ensuring minimum standards for the maintenance in the exterior portion of all residential structures, premises, and property in the borough. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata,
Yes.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
25-08, amending chapter 149, garbage, rubbish, and refuse. The purpose of this ordinance is to expand the enforcement officials who are authorized to enforce this chapter of the code of the borough of Rockaway. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata,
Yes.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
25-09, establishing chapter 137, fire insurance. And the purpose of this is ordinances to prohibit the release of certain fire insurance proceeds on real property from municipal taxes, assessments, and liens that are unpaid. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata,
Yes.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
Good, thanks. And we have one ordinance for adoption, 25-05, amending chapter 170, land use design and performance standards. Purpose, this ordinance removes all references to beautification projects as required in order to establish a dedicated trust by rider for developers' contribution for reforestation trust fund donations. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Just for this ordinance only, I'd like to open the meeting to the public. Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata,
Yes.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public. Please step up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Can he have a speaker so we can hear, please? Thank you.
Thanks so much. So I'm here with some questions, and I'm kind of perplexed because I don't have any answers. There's a construction project on West Main Street in the borough. I'm sure you're all aware of it. And there are construction projects ongoing throughout the immediate area throughout Morris County, from what I can see. And these projects seem to be designed for high-density occupancy and are often out of place in connection with their markedly less dense immediate surroundings. The projects seem to be very environmentally intrusive, removing hillsides as on West Main Street, and using heavy earth-moving equipment to do so. Projects constructed, it's not West Main Street because there's nothing constructed there yet, but overall seem to be cheaply constructed using poor quality construction materials. For example, a multi-story structure built to house a large population of occupants seems to be made primarily out of plywood. Projects with dense occupancy will require outside increases in municipal services with related cost increases, creating in turn upward pressure on property taxes. So my question is, why is this happening, and what is driving all of this local development?
Well, RPM, over 55 low-income housing that's going on West Main Street. This project's been going on for years. They originally came to us with 250 unit market rate apartment complex in that same area. The town negotiated with them for many years, and then cut the number of units in half, agreed to make it over 55 low income. We get our affordable housing credits, with that project, and it's something that it's been through the courts, it's been through our land use, and here we are today.
So it's driven by a state statute, is that what I'm hearing?
There's a state Supreme Court ruled back in the 1970s that there's a constitutional obligation to allow, to facilitate the development of affordable housing in every community. So
What's it called?
Mount
Mount Laurel?
yeah.
All right. And were there guidelines in the Supreme Court decision that would limit
Yes.
the impact of this?
Basically, every municipality, the entire state feels the pain of this because it sort of leads to situations like you're concerned about, where the development might not have been something that would improve or that is desirable, but the municipality essentially has no choice, which is very common. I think everyone here would probably agree if you had some concerns with sort of the way that that constitutional mandate has been, put on the municipalities, but we're kind of in the same boat as every other case.
Well, that was a very old case, right? I mean, 30 years ago or something like that?
That was the first Mountain Laurel, but there's been numerous, I don't know how many, Mountain Laurel 1, Mountain Laurel 2, Mountain Laurel 3, and then.
I think we're at 4 now.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
But it's something that is very active to this day. So it's not just because it originally in 1970, it's something that, like the attorney said, we're all dealing with this.
Yeah, I understand. It just, driving around this part of the county, outside the borough, I see there's two massive developments in Route 10 East. There's some on Route 53, there's one on Gilpin Road, they're all over the place. Construction seems very poor, frankly. I mean, it's plywood buildings essentially, multi-level plywood buildings.
They do have to meet the building code requirements, and presumably they do. So, and that's also a state jurisdiction on the construction code as well.
All right. It just seems that kind of defy common sense, and so this has been through the courts multiple times.
Yeah, it's been challenged repeatedly. But no, I think you're right, and I think that's what happens when judges who have no practical experience dictate that type of thing to everyone else, and what they're forced to live with.
Well, it just seems, I don't know the legal doctrines utilized in these cases. Let me ask you one question. The occupants of these projects, where do they come from?
So basically, they're going to have a lottery. So basically, it's an over 55 low-income unit. Starting in January, they're going to open up applications that would qualify under the qualifications to be able to reside there.
That's this particular project we're talking about. The one in the borough.
But so the other ones you're talking about too, like the ones where the collapse is in Rockaway Township on Route 80, those are a part of affordable housing. The ones on Denville in 53 and 10, that's affordable housing. And all of it has actually, by the way, every single one of these is part of a court order. So like the borough, like this construction here is part of the borough's affordable housing settlement. So it's ordered by the court. The Supreme Court put that framework in place, and then the trial courts then enforce those orders against the municipalities to develop these properties.
All right. So this lottery is statewide lottery? How do you get to be part of the lottery? Statewide.
Yeah.
So it's not serving a local.
So each place that's so RPM that's doing it, they will do their lottery. So
Yeah.
the lotteries are independent of the projects. So it's not the state is running who goes into RPM. RPM, once they are able to start taking applications, they are going to open up a lottery And it's a lottery, and also they have to meet certain qualifications because it's affordable housing.
So there's an application process, and if they have an overage of applicants, they'll conduct a lottery to see who actually gets units?
That's our understanding, again, they're administering that whole thing, but that's our understanding is how they're gonna do it.
You know where the applicants come from?
Anywhere.
It could be anywhere.
Anywhere.
But that could be statewide.
Somebody from California could say, I want to move to New Jersey and apply, that, there's no restriction.
All right, so I really find that I don't like what's happening. Apparently none of you do. What was the last non-law litigation? When was that approximately?
When did the Supreme Court render the decision?
The last one.
Oh, it's just last year.
Yeah, I don't want to mislead you, but
Approximately.
within the last couple of years.
All right, it was pretty current.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I mean, I'm just a little, it doesn't seem to make any land use sense to do this. I mean, nobody can have local control, these are mandated housing requirements.
Let me just repeat, we were ordered by the judge to do
I
that.
understand that.
Land use did everything they could to try to fight it, no avail,
Judge,
judge ordered us to do it.
have you thought about the possibility of forming some kind of association of New Jersey municipalities and pulling your resources as a group, and then perhaps appealing to the Trump administration to see if they would put a stop to this? Because this is totally out.
Municipalities have been fighting this for years.
Sorry?
Municipalities have been fighting this for years with the various governors of the city.
Yeah, but on an individual basis.
Absolutely, we have opportunities to fight numbers, yes. Our obligation this year is 70.
But have you thought, I mean, is there like a group of municipality association where they come together and pool their resources?
Yeah, like the League of Municipalities has been active on this. But basically, in every one of these decisions, it's never, it might be Mount Laurel, but in every single one, it's multiple municipalities.
Multiple municipalities.
And just to quickly respond to your last point, I think the issue is that they're saying that this is a state constitutional right, not a federal, so so I don't know that the federal government has any ability to do anything.
What constitutional principle?
It's in New Jersey, it's
No,
not
I know
a
that.
federal, it's not with Trump, we have to work with our governor to modify this in the legislature.
Well, is it constitutional legislative?
I'm sorry?
Is this a constitutional, state constitutional issue or is it legislative?
The Supreme Court rendered a constitutional decision, and then as a result, the legislature passed statutes that are within the parameters of what the court did.
Okay. Do you recall what constitutional document you're relying on?
What I meant, off the top of my head, no, but it's sort of an interpretation that, basically, if you read it, I don't think you would come to the conclusion that that it exists in law today. It's sort of like the right to privacy. The Constitution, federal Constitution doesn't use the words, but the judges implied that right based on the language of the Constitution.
You know, that's how they got rid of the abortion issue. So that was just some vague interpretation. There's nothing specific about it. All right. It sounds like it's pretty, I've not examined it, but there's at least a potentiality that the legal theory is pretty flimsy when you finally get to the bottom of it. Has anyone thought about the possibility of, now that we have a new administration in Washington, that is not necessarily aligned with this type of judicial activism?
So I'd rather stick to local Rockaway Borough issues, not issues at federal government.
Well, it's just a way of solving a local problem. I mean, it's a tool. And it seems to me it's appropriate to utilize any tool that comes to hand for something like this.
No, there is a big contingent that is fighting the fair housing doctrine that's out there.
You mean the New Jersey doctrine?
New Jersey.
All right. Are they approaching the administration for assistance? Or are they approaching groups outside of New Jersey who might have an interest in putting a stop to this?
It's a New Jersey issue.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's a tool. I mean, how you solve the problem doesn't seem to matter very much. But in fact, it's a local problem. But any tool that comes to hand is fair game. Right? You want to solve a problem, you want to get rid of it. What's to stop what's happening on West Main Street being replicated in New Jersey again and again?
There is one, right?
No, it hasn't. It's been replicated for years and years and years.
I mean, in Rockaway Borough itself. Could they have another one of these things? 2 or 3? 5?
Yes, there's a fourth round obligation that just came down.
Oh, so they ramp up the obligation from year to year?
It's not year to year,
Or decade to decade, or whatever it
like,
is?
this isn't my primary area.
You know, I understand, that's fine.
This is the fourth round that they just released the numbers.
I see, so they come back again and again and again, and pretty soon Rock will go about 10,000 kilos over the course of time. I mean, is that the end result, potentially?
I don't wanna speculate, but, I mean.
There's nothing to stop it, according to what you're saying.
Thus far, no. I mean, the people who made the law are the people you have to appeal to, so it's sort of.
Beyond appeal. All right, well, I appreciate the tutorial. Didn't know anything about it. You may not like Mr. Trump, but I suggest you talk to the administration and see what you can do to get it fixed. Because, as I said, it's a tool. It doesn't matter what the tool is as long as what matters is the end result. And what I'm hearing is we have 20 of these projects on West Main Street, but someplace or another, in Rockaway Borough in the next 20 years. I don't think anybody wants that. You want yourself. I mean, your posture in which you're very exposed. And also Morris County, you go outside of Morris County, you do the same thing writ large over a long period of time. It's a very dangerous situation. We have no idea what's coming into this community, really. And you have no idea what kind of problems it's going to occur as a consequence. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Something was funny?
Good evening, Mayor Council. Ken Sacco, 15 Academy Street, Rockaway Borough. First question of the fire department. $200,000 for $7,400 worth of radio, $200,000 for radio equipment this Burnside.
I think you were present at some of those budget meetings when we discussed the equipment needs of the fire department, and yes, the radios were approved.
Well, okay, they were added into the budget, but I just wanted to make sure the fire department gets the proper radio equipment, because my father would say, yes, he would love that.
We were very supportive of them getting all the equipment.
Oh, my father was a 50-year member, Miss Burnside, and remember, my father's watching over everybody.
He's happy.
Andrew,
Yes, sir.
you were telling me about patrol car packages, right? Last Saturday, at our famous breakfast hangout. I went online that day. I found more interesting things about the SC9 package of the Chevy Tahoe. And I did my homework on it. I could get schematic drawings for the AM/FM radio, the engine, the batteries, everything. Speakers too. $52,000 sticker price, and they showed me the sticker right on the website. That includes lights, computer, prisoner cage, and other great things. They even showed me a backup battery system for the lights on its computers and everything on that thing. You told me it would cost the Borough of Rockaway $96,000, which I understand, but I'd like to know if that is a fair price. Can anybody tell me that?
During budget, we again discussed this, and that's what the quote came in with the police department, and that's what we approved on based off of. the quote with the police car.
Did they get another Tahoe for police?
They were approved for one vehicle.
Okay. That didn't include the one from 23, the one from 22, and the one from 21. I'm not talking about the chief's car. But didn't they have 2 patrol cars up, plus a fire marshal's car that's not completed up in major police supply? Can anybody check that out and see where they are?
They are waiting for equipment.
They are
We
waiting
just
for
got that
equipment.
update within the last week, because there's
I like to ask everybody to think about it. I love my town, I love my police department, but those old black and whites are used for road jobs. Detective Gonson's got charges ready to go out the door. Detective Kohler's gray one needs to be replaced soon. I mean, they need vehicles. I know one is being repaired up at Performance. I would like to work with my community. I'd like to work with my whole entire council to get you more information to help out the police, DPW, fire department. I'd like to work with my community leaders. You work for us, we'll gladly work with you. I know the people at fire, Wilson Fleet. I know people where they could, New Jersey State Police, they're getting their patrol cars since 2020. They got 30 brand new Dodge Chargers, 30 guys. We'd just like to know the status of the fire marshal and the police cars that were budgeted in previous budgets. And that's all I like to know, because every time, and we got a pickup truck that's broken down again, it's sitting in repair. I would like to work with my council, police, DPW, see what they need, and then you take it from there, because I got the knowledge for patrol car packages. And I'm not here to fight, I'm here to work. I know what goes on. Like, for example, Billy was waiting for a pickup truck since COVID. Mr. Hurley, it's getting a little, we gotta be working together as a team. If you're not a team leader, I give the information off to you guys. But I'd like to say thank you for explaining all this to me. And for that, I wanna go home and watch the NFL draft.
Thank you, Tony.
Hello, Katie Clark, West Flag. Sorry I was late. Did you appoint me to the commission?
Right.
Thank you very much. I'll be at the next meeting. I want to ask about the tree permit for Ridgeview on Burnside Hillside. If one has been submitted, no. I'm asking about that, just so that I can go up and take pictures when they start the construction up there. That's the only reason I want to know. The Wall Street property was mentioned yesterday. I was also at the land use board meeting. It's going to be interesting what's going on there. I'm not sure if you've seen kind of what they presented at the meeting.
So it's still an open application with land use,
Yeah.
so we're not gonna discuss it.
Okay. All right then, question related to that. How are parking permits reviewed and approved? Like applications?
They just have to apply. They just have to
Is
apply.
it to the town or is it through the police department? Like one
The
thing
town.
to you? That might be problematic because they were talking yesterday about the developers having to come to the town to ask for parking permits in order for their application to get approved. So, just seems, I know that there's certain cases that they cannot pay for
That
that.
part of it's still part of that open application for land use.
Yeah, and I'm just giving you a heads up that there was a councilman sat at the meeting and they was talking about, well, let's go to the town to get approval. And if you don't get approval, you can't build the place. So that's all I'm telling you. With regards to property maintenance, can you give us a little bit of an update or explanation on what it is? How different it is to the current one, please?
Councilman?
On the property maintenance,
Yeah.
so in the old ordinances, they're a little vague. There wasn't
Yeah.
enough teeth for the code officials to bite into. So this gives them more power to enforce different codes.
Okay,
That's
so,
what I mean.
The current code only applies to the exterior of residential
Okay.
property. This one will apply to all property, interior and exterior.
how did it get inside to check that it's up to standard? That does someone have to, I'm trying to understand the process, because I went yesterday to 11 Wall Street to stalk around based on the land use board meeting that we're not talking about, but while I was there, I ended up talking to a couple of residents who live in Tavern, the boarding house behind Tavern on the Green, or as part of that building, and they were saying how, well, they thought that all the buildings were getting knocked down now, which obviously is not the case, but they were talking about property maintenance issues that they've had. He basically told me that that property, that the landlord is slumlord. They've made multiple complaints to the Board of Health about it. I'm sure the town is aware of some of the condition of some of those rooms there. I think they said there's 18 rooms, and
Just
the
to be
condition's not
clear,
great.
the health ordinances do currently cover the interior, so if there is a health violation, the health department has to.
Okay.
So then, I can't speak for what happened, because I don't know that circumstance, but if the health department responded, they apparently determined that there was no violation of the health code.
No, I think they did, but I gave them 3 months to rectify it, and they didn't. So I guess it's not really for you, Mr. Bob, because you're not going to follow up on it, but maybe someone, Andrew, you're the liaison to the Board of Health, maybe mention it to Courtney, just about making sure that if that's one of the unfit properties, it's been discussed. If not, if I have to submit a formal complaint in addition to what the residents do, I will do so, because they also mentioned yesterday at that meeting we can't talk about is there's rats there as well. But thank you. How long is the remediation of the soil at the library going to take? It's already started earlier this week.
Yeah, we have a deadline of May 19th, I believe, for the DEP.
That's when it's going to be finished. Okay. Thank you. So right now, where the soil has been taken out, I saw like 4 dump trucks there, a dumpster. Where is it going currently?
Well, the dirt, the soils, we're still determining a final location. All the asphalt has been taken over to Weldon.
Okay.
Weldon asphalt.
So there's a pile of soil right, you don't know where that's going. What's been happening, I guess? Because all the dump trucks were there. Where's that soil right now? In the dump trucks?
No, the soil that, we screened the soil, we took out
Yeah.
the asphalt, like I said, that went out Walden. And then we have the 2 piles that, so we're still excavating, we still haven't moved any soil off that property.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, we.
Yeah, you moved it.
But now there's
Yeah,
a
I see
big
the
pile.
I see the pile. Okay, thank you. And then the Franklin Ave sidewalk project, that's phase 2.
That's a sidewalk from.
The agreement.
So she said phase 2, so it's 2 different
Okay.
things. So we have Franklin Ave phase 2 road resurfacing.
Is this
Then we
separate?
have Franklin Ave sidewalks. It's a grant that we did with Denville, which they took the lead. And that's, so there's 2 Franklin Ave projects
Okay.
going on.
Perfect, thank you. So has phase 1 finished yet? I haven't been around
Phase
there.
1 is, they were hoping to pave it last week, but because of with the cold weather, they're trying to reschedule. They're trying to schedule it when school is not open, but we're trying not to wait till summer, so we're looking at maybe hopefully the end of May, they're having some days off the kids, and we're trying to squeeze it in that time frame, but we don't have it locked in yet.
Okay. And then this sidewalk project, is this just sort of the first step? You're not planning, have you got the grant in yet? Have you received it?
So, we're not getting the grant.
Denville.
Right, so we signed an agreement with Denville, where they're gonna get the grant, and so the total amount of the project, minus the grant,
Yeah.
then whatever's left, we're doing 50-50 with
Okay.
Denville.
Do you know how much?
We budgeted, I believe, about $90,000 in our budget for that. What?
That's it. That's not that much, actually. I'll ask about that another time, thank you. So the water application, so for somewhere in the township, maybe you said I don't understand sort of the process maybe. how come we get to allocate water to a township property?
They're part of our water
Okay.
utility. There's a few properties in Rockaway Township.
And some of them go.
Are we gonna be offering it to the Vanderhoof warehouse, haven't? No?
The what?
Yeah, the Vanderhoof warehouse?
No.
No?
What the,
The water, no,
No, they're not.
the warehouse Vanderbilt.
oh, no.
They're not bringing water from us? Okay. Thank you. I got to mention also, maybe you can give me some advice. On the day of the parade, I offered to Mr. Slockbower to go down and help. My street is closed off. I've reached out to my neighbours already, and we're going to do a collection of like borders and sacks and things, and put up a tent on the end of my street, which is West 5, so we're going to make sure that we're not blocking it if you need to use the street. But do I have to submit a formal request to the town and council, FYI, sort of thing? Because our road is already closed.
Is the tent gonna be on private property or on the street?
Probably on the street next to the bollard.
Then it would probably like what they do for the block party, like almost just to, if they're blocked.
But if the road's blocked, I mean, it'd just really be up for the duration of when you're on.
Yeah, it's
Oh, the
yeah,
road's
from like
already-
9 o'clock till
Oh, okay, I didn't,
11.
sorry. Yeah, the road's already closed,
that
that's
was fine.
exactly, okay.
Perfect. Okay, well, we are going to post something because all of my neighbours said they'd be up for it, so we're going to have some bagels, snacks, water, and a couple tents, whoever can bring them down from their house, so that from 9 o'clock, we'll just be there hanging out to help you out.
So you're offering drinks and a snack to the marchers for free?
Yes,
That's all.
That's great.
yes.
Thank you.
I could put it that simply. I was being a bit verbose. So thank you. And one last thing, thank you for adopting the resolution about RevolutionNJ. I participated in it myself last week with a couple of other people. We were going around town with a couple of lanterns. I took a lot of pictures and posted them online, and they were shared by Morris County government. So it featured the library, the Veterans Memorial, Mulligan School, and then the specific videos that I created that just specifically for the borough, one at night, one at day. They shared both of those. So it at least looks like the town participated in the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Delos, running for Mount Pleasant. I was wondering if Rockaway Borough had any plans to commemorate Pride Month in June by flying the Pride flag from the municipal building?
We won't be doing that,
Okay, why?
just because any organization, it's either the American flag or nothing. There's 100 organizations out there that would want the same thing, and
I mean, if it's like once a year, it's
But
not,
if we allow one, we have to allow all.
I mean, well, it depends who asks, right? I mean, I'm
No,
a resident.
no,
that's the issue.
That's the point.
That's the issue.
It's, the good example is Denville with the Christmas display that they put up.
Mhm.
They stopped doing it because a gentleman insisted on putting a Thor statue up as a religious symbol, and then everybody else started adding on. But that's the problem. It's like you have to.
Well, I don't, okay.
It's like you either allow none or you allow everything.
I think that's a bit of a cop-out, and that's unfortunate, because I think a lot of
What the courts have
residents would.
said. It's what the courts have ruled. I mean, it's not something that we may hear. It's the same thing with signs on public property. If we allow private signs on public property, then we have to allow every sign.
I mean, I think other towns do it, so why can't we?
Can't speak for other towns.
Okay. All right, well, I hope that opinion changes, and, because there are a lot of residents who would want that and also would push for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Good evening, everyone. Barbara Koch, 47 Woodside Avenue. I would like to thank the council also for entrusting the Rockaway Borough Historical Committee with Rev 250. And just a reminder, since there's so many members of the public here today, I wanted to remind everyone that there's no cost to the taxpayers for this project activities. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We're
Laura.
in the right outfit, Barbara.
Yes.
Any other comments from the public?
pride display that was brought up by my neighbor, and just in terms of, before I go and read what I prepared, in 2023, the library had a pride flag displayed, and that was once. And I didn't, when it happened, I can't even describe the emotion of how happy I was. And then the following year, when it wasn't, I didn't know why. So if it's not, I understand that, you know, at town hall that you would do it. But was the decision to do it at the library a town thing or a library thing?
That would be the library.
It was
Oh,
the library.
all right.
It's a library board that.
So then I can go speak to the library board then, instead of wasting your time.
Well, it's not a waste of time.
Okay, well, if it's not a waste of time, I'd just like to read. The year after that the flag was displayed at the library, and the year that it didn't happen the following year, I wrote a letter to my neighbors, and I would just like to briefly read. It's a short letter. I just have to refind it. I've had this one forever, and I still don't know how to use it, so bear with me. Sorry, I was much more prepared. Okay, so I had sent this letter to everyone on my street that had displayed pride colors during the month of June, and everyone that I saw in town, I just left the letter at their property. So the letter says, "Hello neighbor. First and foremost, thank you. This year, I've decided to express my appreciation in writing. The importance of expressing gratitude to neighbors and businesses who display the pride flag and celebrate diversity in our community cannot be overstated. My heart was so happy last year when the public library displayed pride colors. Conversely, I'm deeply saddened that there is no display this year. I don't know why, because I don't follow local politics that closely. But it is what it is. And I'm also ashamed that I never spoke up last year beyond my circle of friends. I never told our leaders how much that display meant to me. I never said how proud I was to see progress toward inclusion being made in our public spaces. By showing support for the LGBTQ+ community, you are creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for all individuals, including me and my family. We've lived here for nearly 6 years, and our child attends our public schools. Your efforts to foster a sense of acceptance and unity does not go unnoticed by those of us who know exclusion and prejudice all too well. And I know there are children and young people who notice everything, and you're setting a great example for them. It's so much easier to do nothing, and I'm grateful to have neighbors like you who chose to do something. Again, thank you. That's all I have to say.
That was great, Kathy. I don't think I can top that. Hi, I'm Anna Spivak, 61 Broad Street. I've lived in town since 2018. I'm a homeowner. I'm a taxpayer. I do have a child in the school system. My husband's family has lived here for many years. And I have a wonderful child, gets great grades at school, very good at sports, has a lot of friends, and also happens to be LGBT. My child notices everything. Notices pride flags, notices how people react, and I think representation really matters because it's our future, right? It's our future world, and feeling accepted and welcomed by the town, I think is very important for our young youth. So I am definitely in support if we could make an exception. I understand your point, obviously legally, right? Other people will want it too. I mean, Thor is a fictitious figure. It's not real, but people who are LGBT are definitely real, and they struggle every day to be accepted. All they want, they don't want to hurt anybody, they just want to be accepted. That's all they really want, is to be left alone and be accepted and show that they are equal citizens, not secondhand to other people. So I would be very much in support of that, and I'm hoping you could reconsider. As a parent, I'm asking you, and as a homeowner, as a taxpayer, and as a resident of Rockaway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
But yeah, say don't stop.